Hey, happy Sunday. How y'all doing? This is Blue Nola back in the building with another reading. I hope all is well in your world. Let's jump into why I am even here. But before I do, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, okay? But most importantly, make sure you just give me your feedback. I want to know what you feel about this situation. We're going to talk about Brother Bilal in his latest interview that he did with a man named Mims, all right here on YouTube. I just want to talk a little bit about that because I still feel that Brother Bilal was bullshitting us, basically, right? So we're going to get into it. And I feel like Mims did the best he can do in the situation. Almost feels like he had his hands tied a little bit, the way that it was coming across, and also like towards the very end. And that may have been just because Brother Bilal had some stipulations around how he wanted the interview to go. When you give people control, unfortunately, it becomes a situation where you're kind of doing the interview at their what? At their, you know, based on how they want that process to go. So let's jump into it. So we have been following this Brother Bilal story as it relates to Will Smith, Dwayne Martin, of course, Jada Pinkett Smith. And my actually shout out to a couple of my actual family members from Instagram. They told me about this interview. This is how I even found this channel, okay? And they wanted me to take a look at it because it was coming out. Remember, Brother Bilal was supposed to be back on Tasha K in 2 weeks to expose Will and Jada if they didn't sue. But my question is, Brother Bilal, and I wrote this down, how are they going to sue you, all right? If one, you say that you are in a secret location, right? Because of safety reasons, and that you want them to sue you first so that you can respond. But if they sue you, you're going to unleash the gates of hell on them in terms of exposing them. That everything, keep in mind, he has not provided us one real receipt, one valid receipt from himself. Keep in mind that everything will be exposed in due time, right? In this alleged book that he told Tasha K was ready, but now he's telling this other man that it needs to be rewritten. Family, if you don't feel like this man is bullshitting you, I don't know what to tell you, all right? Today, this is just, to me, this is the year of expose, right? I need to be able to say, when I see some bullshit, I need to say that is bullshit, all right? The stuff that he's talking about and regurgitating and speaking from platform to, from YouTube channel to YouTube channel is basically rumors that have already been circulating for years and years and years. He thinks that he's winning because he's winning the public opinion on the situation. But you can slowly see the tides are starting to turn on him where people are starting to say, where are the receipts? I even read in a comment section, right? I'm nosy, that even on the second interview he did with Tasha K on her website, that she seemed to not be believing him. Okay? So Brother Bilal at this point has no legitimate receipts, real receipts. He's telling this man, Mims, to Google everything. We need to Google this. Remember when he called Jada a dolphin? Guess where he got that from? The Red Table Talk. When Jada was being vulnerable in her discussions about what she had gone through, about how she was addicted to porn. I think she said she was drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, and I believe it was either ecstasy pills. He got that alleged receipt from the Red Table Talk. Do you understand what I'm saying? He is nothing that he has seen firsthand. Oh, let's keep in mind, Brother Bilal has just said on Mims that he has not worked for Will Smith in 20 years. Please go watch this man's channel and support him in his efforts to get the truth. Even though I feel like the truth didn't come out. He hasn't worked for Will in 20 years. And again, let's remind ourselves what he's saying. He is in a secret location because of safety reasons. So how are they exactly supposed to sue you and give you a cease and desist, issue any type of warning to you if you're in a secret location for safety reasons? So for all the people that's on social media saying, well, they haven't sued yet, yeah, that's saying something. How is that even possible? unless they spend money getting a private investigator, as he claimed he did, to find out what his actual secret location is. I even heard something about he was supposedly trying to go to Saudi Arabia or something like that. So at the end of the day, child, I just want you guys, I don't want to spill the beans on that interview, but all I have to say is that this man has yet to provide a tangible receipt that comes from himself, right? And the jig is up. And now we have a situation where we have you can add Brother Bilal to the list of people who go on social media from YouTube to YouTube speaking on things they have no proof on. Let's start with Brother Bilal. Let's go ahead and go down to Jaguar Wright. Then we're going to go down to a lady that I've seen on YouTube saying she was R. Kelly and Aaliyah's daughter, Lugenia. Let's talk about Uncle Ron. And what is this other man that I saw? He was on social media talking about Diddy. There is some truths being mixed with some lies in Brother Bilal's story. So, why is it that he is on this quest and this mission to do this, right? He claims Will is his friend and Will is in this crazy situation with Jada. But he continues to pound on Will about that. Let's see. I wrote some notes down, and the notes were, it seems to me, because the guy Mims kept trying to get at the motive. The motive, in my opinion, is that you were living pretty well on the hog, high on the hog, as it relates to your friendship with Will Smith, right? It seems as if Will Smith afforded you a life of luxury. He even said out of his own mouth that he was paid extremely well, right? That he paid for nothing when he was with Will Smith. Let's go ahead and read a comment that somebody put on Mim's channel. Question: isn't this man out of the country, in hiding somewhere? He's telling he's telling them to sue. But how do they find him if he's hiding out of the country and only comes to the U.S. for Tasha K interviews and then secretly sneaks back out? So can someone sue you if they can't find you? It seems like this man is mad and vengeful and trying to make up rumors. Well, I'm going to say add rumors with lies plus adding lies, right? Because Jada, listen to this, stopped him from eating off of them. Like he said, he never had to go out of his pockets. He never had to come out of his pockets when he was around them. He also said, and this is out of his own mouth, that he was paid generously, right? And made business off of Will's name. She shut that down because she wanted something free. So in the interview with Mims, he'll talk about that, where Jada wanted to do some business with him, right? The horrible Jada, terrible Jada, he was trying to do business with her. But because she said, you've been paid well enough, I don't feel like we should do this, we should do this little business as a favor because you've been paid pretty well. This is what this writer, Pretty Honest, wrote, right? So I read this because I need people to understand I'm not the only one that's thinking this and feeling this way. And he says in his book, and he says not in his book, he says on that he doesn't have he said on Tasha K, he has the book. He says on this new interview, the book needs to be rewritten. He never had the book, all right, in my opinion. So I want to just ask, where's the book? Has he actually started a book? The book it's not with a publisher, it's not online, the link does not work. Give me the energy around Brother Bilal's book, alleged book that he claims he's written. Does he even have like a few page written? Is this, a rough draft of some sort? Does he have like an actual, I'm not saying just like a sheet of paper. I'm saying, does he have like a true book where he can show, anyone that this book actually exists besides him doing a lot of lip service? Give me the energy around Brother Bilal. Ten of Cups. The King of Cups. The Five of Wands. I bet you if you ask Brother Bilal to show you the actual, just the rough draft of the book, I bet you he won't be able to tell you. I bet you he won't be able to show you a real start to finish rough draft of the book. Right? I think he has something, but it's in pieces. And when I mean pieces, I mean pieces. His Ten of Cups is basically telling us he's not telling us the truth. Even in his Five of Wands, he wouldn't be able to really produce, right, a true body of work. His progress doesn't feel, this is a progress aspect, which means his progress is not, he's made, the progress is not there. Does that mean he won't try to come up with a book now that the pressure is on him? Yeah. I can see in the next 1 to 13 months, he'll try to come up with something. But I bet you the money, if an interviewer really said, can I see the book? Let's look at the book. Let's look, like I'm talking about a book. Hey, even if it's as thick as this notebook, something where we see that you've done, not the first page, from start to finish, that you actually had a real book. Why does a book need to be rewritten totally? Why can't you just edit aspects of that book, right? You already got the book. You told Tasha K you had the book, right? The book was ready. You was going to put your book out before Jada, but then Jada put her book out, which didn't have a damn thing to do with you. Once again, lip service, right? But I promise you, if they ever really push the issue, and the problem with pushing him is that he gives me the energy of somebody, if they push him, he tries to say he's not going to do the interview. I could see the interview is running into conflict with him. So that means you're going to either do the interview my way so you can get the interview, or you're not. Because at this point, people just want the interview for the clicks and the views and to grow their channel at this point, right? Which is fine. We're on YouTube. This is what we do. But I bet you if you were to dig deeper into Brother Bilal, I bet you the money you would find that he doesn't truly have a real book from start to finish that he claims is something that pertains to what he told Tasha K. I promise you it's in bits and pieces, and I mean bits and pieces, right? He's not even showing you a book. He claimed the book was going to be released on December 6th or December 12th before Jada's book. Jada's book came out first. Jada's book is here. Signed, sealed, delivered. She had it completely together. Give me the energy around Brother Bilal. Did he have his book completely ready to put out before Jada Pinkett Smith's book? And he has the Empress, which means he was working on it. And then he has the World card, which is meaning incomplete. So again, it shows you in his aspects that there's something that I could say, like I could sit down and say, okay, maybe he wrote a note. He wrote some notes or a few pages, but he didn't have a completed book that he claims is going to be out before Jada. Remember, he is mixing in a bit of truth with a bunch of lies, all right? Spirit, when the time comes, because he keeps on saying, like, remember, he was on Comedy Hype. He was on Tasha K. Now he's on Make It Make Sense Memes, right? He was on somebody else's channel. I kind of went and looked to see where he was. He's been in multiple channels, but he has yet in the last few months to provide any actual proof that comes from Brother Bilal. He is literally telling this man Mims to Google everything. Yeah, if you Google this, you'll see that. If you Google that, you'll see that. If you Google this, if you Google that. I sent you this article and I sent you the article. What are you talking about here? Right? You claim, and then, you know what's interesting? Even when he claimed he walked in the room on Will and Dwayne. So he just stood there and was able to watch Dwayne murder, kill, Will Smith. Usually, even if your children walk in, child, you in mode, right? So how is it that these two men it was just that good that they just kept going, even though Brother Bilal was standing in the door? It just don't make no sense, right? So let's keep going. Will they be able to catch up with him? Because remember, he's in a secret location for safety reasons, right? Is he like literally out of the country, Spirit? Give me the energy around Brother Bilal. Or is that just something he's making up? Give me the energy around Brother Bilal. What is that looking like? Is he traveling? He has the Four of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the World card, the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Swords. There's a little travel aspect, but I don't think it's to the degree he's saying it, guys. Right? He's pretty stationary. So I would be surprised to see that he's living. Go live and let's see you walking around Saudi Arabia, right? Let's see you walking around Saudi Arabia. I would love to see that. I'm not saying people can't travel, because he does have a travel aspect here. But his travel aspect represents what, temporarily moving around in order to avoid a situation. So, for example, I could see him very much so living in the United States, but because he's making so much fuss with this situation, he's moving around, right? That's what that means. So, once again, how are these people going to catch up to you, right? Wheel of Fortune in reverse. How are these people going to catch up with you if you are moving all around? That means it's going to be hard to pinpoint you, give you something, add something to it. I definitely feel he was stationary at one point. He was 4 cups, 9 of wands, right? Stationary, right? Pretty much, right? But I think now that he's made this big stink on social media, he's moving and shifting. Will he be back in the United States, living here, right? And another reason why people say they're out of town too, or across the seas in Saudi Arabia, China, Timbuktu, is because then you're not looking for him, right? If he said he was living back in Philly, then people will be kind of looking around, paying attention. But if I say I'm living abroad and I say I'm not living in the United States, then I'm not looking for Brother Bilal, right? So even if when he is here, right? Even when he is here, you're not really looking for him because he's claiming he's out of town. I think his trips are not permanent trips. I think his trips are very temporary, right? I don't see that as being 100% true. Not that he can't travel. Everybody has a right to travel, but I don't find that as being truthful. And so when you say that you want them to sue, how the hell is anybody suing you? This means these people would have to spend extra money trying to get a private investigator to see where the hell you at just to give you a lawsuit. And they don't have to do that. They can catch up with you whenever can catch up with you the right way, right? But look, just pay attention to that. I was curious as to why Tasha K did not bring this man back on. Some people felt that Tasha K was kind of not believing him. And this is because he spent more time on the second interview trying to just go after Jada versus having receipts. I'm sure Tasha has figured out by now, but Brother Bilal was basically just running a story on her. Give me energy around. How does Tasha really feel? Because people were saying in the comment section that they felt she wasn't believing him. Was she believing him in the second interview? I mean, how is she feeling about Brother Bilal now that she's had this interview? Let's just focus on her energy. And she has the 7 of wands. Good. Well, listen, she made money off of this drama, right? That's what it talks about. But she doesn't believe him 100%. The King of Pentacles is here, and the King of Pentacles is saying she does have some doubt. And also, too, I mean, I can see Tasha K saying, I'm not about to go off a cliff with this man. Even though she fell off the cliff with Cardi, you know what I'm saying? I can see, Tasha K saying, I'm not about to go off the cliff with this man. This King of Pentacles is basically raising doubt, right? And you got to watch him, too, because even on Mims, it was glided over, he actually used the R word, and said Will had R word somebody. And then he even said that Dwayne Martin SA'd somebody. So he's becoming more and more dangerous in his messaging, right? This is what this talks about, which could lead to what? Some problems, which means it could lead to some problems. So I would be careful of our Tasha too, but this definitely shows, at first, hey, this is good story, good content, making money, getting momentum, blah, blah, blah. But this also represents falling into dangerous territory. And especially this also represents the feeling around doubt. So she does have some doubt. Because he talked about Tasha and said, pretty much she's still holding the video because it's doing so well on her website. They said that video, he wasn't giving no receipts on that second video. Like that. The receipts, they claimed the receipts that he was giving weren't actually receipts. So why would she be holding that interview? The first interview was probably more explosive than the second one. Why would she be holding that interview? Away from YouTube. Why is she holding that second interview, Spirit? He's claiming she's holding that second interview. I think Tasha's probably really looking at it I need to make sure this is right. I need to make sure. Because when you see that King of Swords, it's like somebody really thinking about, is this what I should be doing? Because this could lead in, again, further into pulling her into what? A lawsuit, a judgment, a situation, right? this is what this talks about. Even though Tasha, even the guy who interviewed him, he was saying some pretty serious things where, even though you won't be sued directly, you're allowing a platform to, this man is not telling 100% truth. But this represents negativity, right? This is what this shows. Backlash. I'm not saying she won't ever put it out, but I could see her being very conscious of what she's sharing, right? This is a legal card. This is a legal card, believe it or not. The King of Swords is actually legal, all right? This represents having a lawyer up. The Judgment card is a judgment. It's very straightforward, a judgment and being blamed, right? Over this man telling what? Some stories that may or may not be true, okay? So she needs to be careful. Sometimes I be doing these readings to just warn people, like, be careful with certain people because they'll have you dragged into something. And just keep in mind, he's been on 5 different channels, 6 different channels, and he has not provided no real proof. And that to me is a huge red flag. That to me is a scary thing because now your channel's in jeopardy. You're in jeopardy. Your money's in jeopardy behind somebody who has continuously made promises that they haven't even kept, right? You were supposed to be exposed. You don't need Tasha K's platform to do that. All right. So let's go ahead and ask, so he says he's going to take a break from interviewing and just focus on writing his book from February to March. And I can see him doing it. I can see him when he's going to try to finish his book. But will his book ever really be released to the public spirit? I see where he's going to be working on the book. But will this book be ever, like, truly finished? Will we really get all the receipts that he's claiming that? Why the hell would we need a book with receipts in it? And I still feel like he's full of it, right? Notice he's always moving the goalposts, right? He's always moving the goalposts back. Even on the Guy channel, the Guy Mims channel, everything was, went from specific to generalized. Everybody does that. People been knowing that. People always say that. He doesn't give anything specific. But when it comes to, I feel like this man is going to eventually just fall off the map because people are going to get sick and tired of his story. His 6 of Wands. Remember, the 6 of Wands is almost kind of like one of those cards where as much as people love you in the beginning, they start to hate you in the beginning. This is one of these cards like people can love or hate you. So at first people are like, yeah, he the truth. Oh, damn, he got some tea. And over time, when they start to realize the tea is still and the tea is cold, right? They start to lose interest. And he haven't produced us nothing. Then the 5 of Pentacles come in. People stop paying attention, right? They stop paying attention. He's saying the same thing from channel to channel. And eventually, he just goes away. This 2 of Wands, right? Because it's like, again, that's the only person that's staying constantly on platforms is Jaguar, right? But eventually, just like Brother Ron and just like these other people, they just start to fall away. That's what it looks like. All right? So, this is not set in stone. This is for entertainment purposes only. My intuitive feeling around this man, he almost makes you feel like, he was kicked out of the circle, the demonic circle, right? That he was in for over 40 years and greatly benefited from. And now that he's been kicked out of it, now he wants to raise hell and expose people and mix a bunch of truth with mix a little bit of truth. Well, mix some rumors with a whole bunch of pack of lies. All right? People, again, how somebody suing you if you're in a secret location. If you are, hiding out for your safety. Make it make sense. Like, what address that they're, if you that bold, you want them to sue you so bad, provide them with an email address so that they can actually send it. But hopefully they'll get to the point to where, just like Kanye's lawyer did, remember when Kanye's lawyer couldn't find Kanye? The judge actually allowed him to go public with, I am officially suing you, so that it can be put on record. Maybe that's what Bilal feels. He wants the courtesy of being sued publicly. But the burden of proof is on Bilal. He's the one that went to Tasha K. The burden of proof is not on Jada and Will. He went to Tasha Key. He went to Comedy Hype. He went to Mims. Shout out to all of y'all. This is not about y'all. This is about Brother Bilal. But he went to these places. So the burden of proof, y'all keep trying to put the burden of proof on Will and Jada. The burden of proof is on Brother Bilal. He created these he went up. And just one thing I love about what Mims had said, if I had to say what was the one thing I was like, wow, okay, I like what he said in this moment, was when he was like, well, those, Brother Bilal started, remember, generalizing again. Well, those rumors have been out. And Brother Bilal, and then that's when Mims said, but because you had a friendship with him, you made it more real. You made it tangible. You put fire to it. Right? Is a difference in me sitting here saying, I think this is what happened, versus you've been friends with somebody 40 years and therefore you had a close connection with them to kind of validate this. You validated this through your association and affiliation and friendship with him. That's the difference. You were just on Instagram with him last year with his book on 2 videos and with Dwayne Martin and promoting Dwayne Martin. So at the core of it, that was the one. If I had to say what was the 2 takeaways, the motive is he's gotten kicked out of the circle. He knows, he said out of his mouth he was paid generously. He didn't have to come out his pocket for anything. And it feels like the reason why his focus is on Jada. Just think about this for a second. Take Will and Jada out. What if your husband had a friend that was getting all the benefits of being his friend? Your husband had a good job. Your husband had money in the bank. Your husband have several businesses, and he got this moocher friend that's just tagging along, getting business and doing business and eating good off your husband. And you come in the deal and say, nah, we gonna put a stop to that. They're gonna be mad at you too. And one thing I want to say though, Brother Bilal, shouldn't be laughed at that Brother Bilal gets to disrespect Jada Pinkett Smith. He gets to get online and say things about her that are derogatory. If it weren't Will Smith, we would be outraged that he could get online and say the things that he's saying. Right? If he got online and called right now Angela Bassett, a dope fiend, and said all these things, we will be completely outraged. We'll be ready to get him. But because it's Jada, he's allowed to disrespect her. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's funny. Again, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. This is your girl, Blue Nola. This is my take on Brother Bilal. At this point, Brother Bilal, brother, you have not a damn shred, lick of proof about nothing. You need to come with them receipts. Stop bullshitting around. Stop shucking and jiving. We need a receipt. Not a receipt that we can Google. Not a Red Table Talk clip. Not an article that came from somewhere. Where does Brother Bilal, in his receipt book of receipts, you've been friends with them 40 years. We need something from Brother Bilal. Okay? Until then, y'all should not believe in nothing he's saying until he can come with a real receipt. Remember, he is mixing in truth with lies. And that just means he's taking not even some of the truth. Some of the stuff is a rumor, and he's mixing it and he's adding to it. The 2 things, he said 2 additional things on Mims. That means he's adding things to it, right, as he goes. Maybe he's thinking about things that he can say that's shocking and jarring. But until Brother Bilal can come up with some real receipts that come from Brother Bilal, right, that Brother Bilal captured, text messages, emails, phone calls, pictures, video, something, then we need to be cautious about what we allow. And our quest to just look at it, a lie go further than the truth. Our quest to hear the salacious story is just insatiable to where we believe anything. And the one thing I see people in the comment section doing is waking up to, he's still talking, but we haven't seen no receipts. So I applaud those people that are now waking up. Some people will never see it. Some people will always be like, yeah, they did it. I believe them. We can't fight that. You can't win that battle of people that just gonna believe what they're gonna believe. But kudos to all the people that are waking up and starting to see this man for who he is and what he truly is. He's a certified, and I think like at the end of it, his goal was the monetization for him. His goal is to try to write that book. That's where he's thinking he's gonna make his money. But when you write a book, that means now they can track you. You know, this book is not even with a company yet. But when that means when you write a book and now you put this book out, that means they could track your address to see what's your location, right? Through Amazon or through whatever bookstore, paper trail. So yeah, let's see if he puts that book out. Take care. Stay blessed. Encourage and empower. Don't forget you can book me with me at BlueNolaTarot.com. BlueNolaTarot.com. This is just my intuitive feelings, opinions, and a reading around Brother Bilal. At this point, he still has not, provided us a receipt. And I know he said, they had 2 weeks to sue. But how can they sue you, sir, if they can't even find you? If you're in a secret location, moving around and hiding because of safety reason, So take care. Bye-bye.